Welcome back, folks, and thank you so much for joining me this morning for what will actually be our last Guest Artist Series episode, episode 23. To celebrate the closing of what has been a really exciting series to put together for all of you, we are joined this week by special guest Kate LoConti Alcocer of Irish Classical Theatre Company and Chris Handley of Alleyway Theatre, two local theatres that share the professional stage circuit here in Western New York with Shakespeare and Delaware Park. Both Kate and Chris found themselves to be in unique positions at the start of this pandemic, having both joined Irish Classical Theatre Company and Alleyway Theatre Company respectively in their new roles as executive artistic directors. In response to our current pandemic and creative pause, each launched their own unique virtual theatrical experiences, a virtual production of C Marks at Irish Classical, and a collaborative original production, Current 716, at Alleyway Theatre. Join me this week as we listen to this exciting and promise-filled conversation between Kate, Chris, and our very own Lisa Ludwig, as the three discuss how each of their companies have continued to adapt to these new creative norms and looking forward what the future of their companies hold.
So Chris, yours are going to be streamed at a certain time, almost as a live performance, not as and pop on and watch it anytime you want.
Yeah, for this first production, we're doing it at a certain time, just like you would go see a play, and you have to choose which time. In November, we're doing a sort of festival of plays, and I think it's gonna be 5 plays that will be done in different ways, in different forms. They're all totally different. One is like a Facebook Live, one will be a Zoom thing, they're all different for different mediums. And those will be set up in different ways. So some will be on demand, some will be at a specific time. But we're experimenting and to see what works the best.
And then Chris, yours were different monologues that were put together as a one piece, correct? As a show.
Right. Yeah, we commissioned 15 Western New York writers, and they came up with great, wild ideas of what's happening right now and how they're responding and how people in the community are responding to the world around us. So it's 15 short monologues or short dances or short songs or sketches that are put together into one evening.
Okay, and then Kate, so what Irish Classical has taken a play, a written production, and filmed the play as is. So how are you presenting that? Is it you can watch anytime you want? Is it a certain time?
We're presenting it similarly to Alleyway. So we will present it at certain days and times. So over the 3 weeks, we will have our regular days and times that the company is used to presenting during the 5 shows on the weekend. And then we will also add times for different time zones because we're targeting Ireland and Dublin and some other time zones nationally. So we'll kind of, have some availability there. But to Chris's point, it will be at a certain date and time to choose from so that it'll have more of an event feel to it. We'll also have some live chats surrounding like talkbacks and, interviews with the actors and design team and such.
Were the two of you techie before this? Because you knew about technology, filming and Facebook. And because I was not, and I'm blessed to have Grace and Sean, and in our office because they, but we're all still learning. It's like, wow, Grace just started with our company right when the pandemic hit. And it's like, did you know that your job was going to turn into, being an editor and filming and Zooming and all of this? So did you have that knowledge prior?
Nope. I am a Luddite through and through. Well, not anymore. I was a Luddite, but it's amazing what you just have to kind of do to pull up your bootstraps and say, not a Luddite anymore. I better get with the program, watch your YouTube manual videos.
When I was in New York, I got myself through New York by designing websites. So I did have some, although I like to say that my skills stopped, 15 years ago. And so I am 15 years behind the times, but you can catch up.
No, it's interesting that you say it's like we're all, so again, I've been at Shakespeare, 15 years, but this is all new for me too. Again, I can't imagine what the two of you are going through, but we're used to seeing 40,000 audiences a summer. We cast our shows, we build our set, we put on a production, people come, yay, the season's over and everything's great. But this year, for us, we were able to do some live performances. We did a touring show. It was only 50 people could come. So we went from our 40,000 audience members to 450 or 500 people who got to see it. But that being said, the excitement of those 50 people at each of those shows to be able to see something live, did make me go, this live is important. So let's keep doing what we're doing, with video, with film, with everything, in the hopes of getting back to being live. But then now we have all these new skills to do a little bit of everything for the people who can't get to the theater.
There's definitely offerings that we will look to continue and to do, throughout the time when we're not producing, over the summer and during our, in between, and also as enhancements to our life. It's amazing what we can do now, and we didn't know that we could do it. Our staff, thankfully, we've kept everybody employed, which is amazing. And our staff is very skilled in many different skill sets. So even though I might be a Luddite or started out as a Luddite, many of our staff members aren't. We creative folks, we're used to wearing a lot of different hats, and it's fun to be able to exercise some of those muscles that you don't get to all the time. And so whether it's with the marketing stuff or with the tech stuff, it's been an exciting time for sure. Certainly kept us on our toes. Yeah.
Here's the question. Artistically, we're coming up with exciting ways to keep our audiences engaged. We're doing all of that type of stuff. Now, again, at Shakespeare in Delaware Park, we are either blessed or cursed, you could say. We're free, so we rely a lot on donations and memberships. But you rely on ticket sales, Again, ticket sales are an important thing to you. So now with these films, I'm assuming that you are charging. How is that going? Is it allowed to members? Can anybody do this? How are people finding out about it? How is this affecting, budgets and things like that,
We thought it was really important to be able to provide access to this for anybody, and especially when it first hit, so many people were out of work. I mean, are still out of work, and it's so important to me that theater is for everybody and that everybody can see this. So for our productions, it's a sliding scale as low as $5, and we recommend that you support us at the ticket price you would have if you came in person. But if you can't, that's okay, and we just want people to be able to see it. So we do have that sliding scale, and people are really supportive. The people who can support are being supportive, and the people who are in a harder financial position right now are still able to see the show and still participate, which I think is really important.
Yeah, agreed. We are also offering our access programs and our discount programs that we would for our live shows. So all of those, like our Think of Ed and Arts Access, all of those will be offered for these tickets. And our tickets for CMARCs are really, we believe they're reasonably priced. There's also the option to donate up if patrons are interested or able to do that. In terms of the communication, we are actually we're just putting the finishing touches on our ticketing system, and we are, for the digital production, we'll do like a big blast for that and hook the teaser to it.
It's amazing how much technology is out there that is really exciting, that lets us do all these things and do it so seamlessly and easily.
Chris, you were talking already earlier that Alleyway has another show planned then later in the fall. Kate, does Irish Classical plan to continue this streaming? Are you waiting to see how the first one goes? Are you hoping, here's a question, are both of you hoping to get live at some point this year, that you have it in plans? So wait and see.
For us, we are in a transition period right now with some of our programming. So we are definitely focused on CMARCs, but we have some other irons in the fire that I can't really talk about now. But please know that we are looking at other ways and some plans to continue the virtual aspect. However, if it passes that we are able to gather later in the spring, closer to the end of our season, we would certainly look to doing some live offering.
Yeah, so we've planned to do this festival in the fall, in November, and then we are going to do Christmas Carol, and we'll do Christmas Carol as a radio play this year. Bring everybody into the studio and record it in the safe distancing and all of that, and then edit it down to a podcast basically that you'll be able to download. And then we're thinking about the spring and what that might be. And
well, again, we just finished, summer's over. So normally we have a year till next year. But yeah, again, that's what we are doing. We are planning 4 different scenarios.
Yep.
Things are no different than they are right now, to the next step up, to the next step up, to the, hey, we're back to normal. And our goal is by December of this year to have every one of those scenarios in place, and then come end of February, we're going to pick one of them and stick with it. We're not going to keep waiting for maybe next week it'll be better. I mean, again, we are blessed being outside that next year, if we can still only see 50 people at a time, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do more and better, because we were able to do that safely.
And Lisa, like you're saying, to pick a plan and stick with it, I think is important. And it's important to just know that the lead time is so long. Like you said, Kate, you had planned your season, you were ready to go, 12, 18 months out, right? That's what we have to do, is be there, because it takes so much time. And so even if today it's all over and we say, okay, we can all go back to normal, well, we have to, we're not there yet, because we haven't been planning. We've shifted our plans. Right. So it does take the time to put something into place.
Right. Yeah. So you're kind of working on many different cylinders at once, like you were saying, Lisa, all the different scenarios, but really always with the goal in mind to return to live performance. So to keep things like at a really steady place, so that when that switch could be flipped, it's like, okay, lights on, here we go, and like everything's still in place. I think that's one of the interesting challenges as well, is like keeping the status quo going while the other hand is doing all of this other stuff, so that you can just kind of like open up when it's possible. One thing certainly that keeps me sane is that I know that we're not alone. Like everybody's going through it. And so our community has been so wonderful. Things like this, like supporting each other's companies, and thank you so much for bringing us on to be able to speak to it, and making sure that we are helping each other out and building those collaborations. That to me has been some of the balm for this very crazy time. And it's also connected people outside of Western New York, which is cool.
Folks, as always, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We've really enjoyed getting to share this guest artist series with you every Sunday morning for the past 6 months now. Make sure to like and subscribe to us on all of our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and most recently our YouTube channel. You can find copies of all 23 episodes of our guest artist series there, as well as some exciting other videos we've been putting together during this intermezzo season. Make sure to like and tag your friends, and keep an eye on our Facebook and Instagram pages. We have some exciting updates coming your way very soon. As always, thank you for your continued support of Shakespeare in Delaware Park. We look forward to being back together on the Hill soon.